Making leaf epidermal prints from needle-like leaves such as those from pines and yew. From a small twig, cut off individual needles. They're quite stiff sometimes and can be finicky to handle. Now take another slide, and you want to apply a layer, a thin strip of UV crystal resin as used in jewellery making. There you go. Make sure you've got the cap on the bottle and put it out of the way. Then take another slide, and you want to create a thin layer by literally streaking that strip. It takes a bit of practice. If it's too thin, then you don't get a sufficiently deep impression. If it's too thick, then the needles sink in, are glued in later, and you can't get them out again. Put the slide made for streaking to one side. You need to clean it later. So I speeded up the next bit of trying to put the needles onto the layer because it could be quite fiddly, and it took me a little while. There you go, arranging 4 individual strips, and because they're stiff and bendy, they need to be compressed a bit. So I use a piece of non-stick baking paper. You could also Vaseline the next slide that you're going to put on top instead of baking paper, and then clamp them together using some clothes pegs. Flip the sandwich over and place it into a UV curing box, such as used for nail curing, and allow it to cure for 60 seconds. Again, I've just speeded up the recording here. Then take out your sandwich, remove clothing pegs, remove the top slide, remove the paper, and you can see that these are embedded, these needles are embedded, they're not covered totally on the surface, so you can then flick them off with either your fingernails or with a pair of forceps as here. Oops, there goes one, and the next. So if the gel was too thick, they would have been totally coated, and you just can't remove them then. So you might find you need to have enough material for 2 or 3 tries until you get the feel for it. But here you could see that we've actually got some reasonable prints. Remember to label the slide as well. So these are yew leaves. It's a leaf print. And I'll add today's date. And here is a picture of the same slide looking at one of the leaves using transmitted light. That's where the light comes from underneath the sample, goes through the sample and into the objective. I used a 10 times objective. Now, to get all the image in focus, I had to take a range of photographs from the lowest point of focus on the leaf print to the highest point of focus. I took about 97 pictures, I think, in all on this one. And these were then combined using a software called Picolay into a focus stack. And that gives me this image where everything is in focus right across the field of view. A leaf epidermis print from needle-like leaves of yew. made according to a method adapted from that of Brown and Ratford 2022. So why don't you have a go? And I look forward to seeing your results. Good luck.